Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm going to do a quick review of this product here, which is the Maybelline Super Stay Multi-Use Foundation Stick. I just found it at the drugstore. I know it's not an uber new product, however I hadn't tried it and I thought I'd give it a go. This is the finished product of it, obviously with all my extra makeup on top, but I thought I'd give you a quick review and what I thought of this one here. So if you want to see what I thought, stick around. Okay, so this is what it looks like here. And it's got, on one end, it's got kind of like a beauty blender, and I will have to admit, when I first bought it, I tested it on my hand with the beauty blender just to see kind of how well it would move the product around without soaking it all up. So far, so good. So as you can see, it's used. So it's got a nice flat edge here, and then it's quite dense. Now, I'm not too sure. I couldn't find anything online or on Maybelline's site as to whether or not you're supposed to wet it or not, so I didn't, and I was still able to kind of move the product around where I needed it to without it looking streaky. On the other side is the actual product itself. Now here's the thing that I was quite disappointed about. That's all you get. It's not a lot. So we'll see how much I actually need of it to do a full face of makeup compared to what's left at the end, because I have a feeling I'm only going to be able to use this for a few applications and then it's going to be all done, but we'll see. So I've got nothing on my face besides my regular face cream, which I put on every morning. So I wanted to still put it on because there's not going to be a day where I don't use it and then do my makeup. So let's go. So I'm just going to kind of start applying it all over my face. I'm not too sure how much I'm going to need, so we're going to kind of test it out as we go. We're also going to use the beauty blender that's provided. As well, I have my makeup brush and my own beauty blender just to see, you know, what might work best. So it goes on quite smooth and creamy. I'm just going to kind of put as much, I think, as I need. I don't quite know. So we're gonna test this out. So we're gonna start with that, see how that looks, and then maybe build upon it if I need to. So let's go with the blender that's provided. The one thing about this blender that's provided is it does feel dry. So that's what kind of makes me think maybe you're supposed to wet it like you would, you know, a regular beauty blender or makeup sponge, because it feels quite dry, like it's kind of pulling the product. So it's looking okay, not overly streaky, but still, I don't think the best way to apply it. So let's try now using a beauty blender. Don't judge the disgustingness that is my beauty blender. So this makes it feel a lot nicer on the skin. Like I said, it's not dry and it's not like it's pulling the product across my skin, which is what I felt like with the applicator that was provided. Don't get me wrong, it's nice that it's there in the event that, you know, you forget it or you just want to pop that in your purse for touch-ups throughout the day. Then it's nice that you have it. You don't need to travel with a brush, a beauty blender, wet your beauty blender, whatever type of form you use to apply it. So, okay, so I did this side with the applicator that's provided, this side with my beauty blender, and then now my forehead, I'm actually just gonna go and use my makeup brush, just so we can kind of compare the application. Just a nice simple e.l.f. brush. Still sort of feels like it's being dragged across my skin, not as much as the applicator that was provided, but so far I definitely like the feel of, you know, the damp beauty blender the best. I'm also noticing that it dries kind of quite quickly on the skin, so you kind of have to work quickly with it. So seeing as I did this side of my face, then this side, and now the forehead, I'm finding it a little bit more difficult to blend. But I think that's where the damp beauty blender kind of comes into play, is that it helps kind of moisten the foundation up again, and you are able to kind of glide it to where you need it to be. All right, so that's the second application of the foundation. I'm actually really liking the coverage. The color match is spot on. The one thing that I did notice is that it dries quite quickly, so I wouldn't recommend putting it all over your face like I did and then blending it out. I would work on, you know, portions of your face and blend it out, because you do have to work a lot harder to spread the product where you need it. And like I said, it does crease quite a bit in my lines. Now, that may be different once I set it. You know, maybe even, like I said, if I had used a primer, that might be a different situation. But the coverage is pretty good. Like I said, I've got pretty dark circles under my eyes, and then even just, you know, that spot there, it covered it quite well. So what I'm gonna go and do now is I'm just gonna go and apply the rest of my makeup, and then I'll come back and show you what the finished product looks like with powder and everything all set. So I'll be right back. So this is the finished product. I've gone and put on a setting powder, you know, everything else. And this is kind of what you get in the end. So I have to say, it's quite nice. It's very dewy, which is new for me. I'm generally not a dewy kind of person. I prefer matte. but I do quite like this. And like I said, it's doing a phenomenal job at, you know, covering dark circles. I mean, obviously I've still got some, but let's be real, if I'd used a concealer, it may be a different story, but you know, those spots, pretty good. And it's kind of stopped creasing in my forehead. Like obviously, you know, I've got some pretty dark creases in there, which I need to tend to. But once I put on my setting powder, it's actually done quite a good job at staying put. And like I said, the color match is pretty darn close for a drugstore. Overall, I'm pretty impressed. I would have to say though that the blender that they provide is not very good, but it would be good in a pinch. If you just want to throw this in your purse and head out for the day, you know, you could touch up under your eyes or wherever you need to, and you do have an applicator to distribute the product without having to use your fingers and then it just getting everywhere. So I would have to say that it is convenient to have this. Would I use it every day to apply my makeup? Probably not. So I just looked on the packaging and it says cream to matte formula. I feel like I'm pretty dewy. So their matte may not be as matte as what other companies call matte, because for me personally, I feel like this is dewy for me. But regardless, the multi-use foundation stick by Maybelline is a pretty decent product for the price. Hopefully you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Click the little bell above so that you know when my next videos are coming, and we'll see you in the next video.